Morning, everybody on YouTube. We're about to start the session. If you just bear with us a moment or two. There's nobody on YouTube at the moment. Right. No, it wasn't Alfred. Spring Hill. They're not in today because they've got something on. We've got 9 classes in the room. Right, I'll get them all in. Everybody ready?
Holly Spring, is it?
Pardon?
Holly Spring or Spring Hill?
Spring Hill, I think.
Okay.
Right, 10 in. Right, okay, ready? Just bear with us 1 second, folks. I'm just getting the settings set up right. I'll be with you in a few seconds. Right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Teaching Live. It's week 5. We hope you've all enjoyed your afternoon break. Half-term break. I'm getting ahead of myself already. I had a particularly good half term. I've just come back from Germany where I was at an education conference, which was great fun. What have you been up to at half term, Pie?
Half term? Was it half term?
Yes, it was.
Yes. What was I doing? What have I done? I don't know. Pottering around, doing very little, reading, all sorts of things like that. They're all good here. One of those grey, misty autumn mornings. And of course, at half term, we had pumpkins.
Yes.
Carving pumpkins, which even though I don't have little children at home, we still do that. I love doing that. How about you, David? Do you have a good break?
Yes, very good, thank you. Lots of walks out with the dog and things like that. Time to do things that you don't normally have time to do, which is very nice. So, but very much looking forward to getting back to it today and seeing what the children come up with.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of really good poems sent in. I've just been last half hour, I've been reading some and commenting on a few where they were creating different new flowers. And this week we're going to do not poetic writing, but we can do some information writing, possibly with a bit of explanation added in. So we're going to again look at flora and fauna. Now, the flora, you know that's flowers because it starts with FL. So flora is going to be flowers and trees and bushes. So we're going to try and create a sort of never believe, or whatever name you've got for your island or your special invented land. We're going to try and create a fact file. So we're doing information writing, either for flora, for the flowers, or for fauna. And the fauna bit that's all the animals and the creatures and birds and fish. And but we're going to, of course, create some new ones because this is a fantasy land. So we're going to write some entries either for a bestiary. Now, the never believe bestiary. A bestiary is rather like an encyclopedia, but it's just creatures. Or the never believe compendium of flora, which would just be the flowers and trees, etc. So thinking of a chosen animal or a plant. And we're going to start, the game we're going to play is to do with an interview. So working in pairs, partner A is going to be the interviewer and partner B will be a creature of some sort. So you might be a bird, a fish, a reptile, so lizards, a mammal, an amphibian, or a mini beast. So at halftime, you can swap roles. So the first challenge really is to invent a creature that lives on the island. And we could do it rather like we did with the flowers by putting two creatures' names or parts of their names together. So you could have a rainbow beetle or the scaly day bat. That only comes out at day rather than night. A dog ant, quite fierce they are, they bark a lot. A croco cat, that's a mixture of a crocodile and a cat. The unicorn fly, very nasty sting, the unicorn fly. A sunset salmon, beautiful to see. Rock eagle, very, very large, almost impossible to defeat as it's made of rock. And of course, the spotted fly snatcher, which is an amazing bird. But I've gone for the land shark, rather nasty. So partner A is the interviewer, partner B is going to be the creature, and you've got to invent some sort of creature. So you can work on inventing your creature together and then hold the interview. Now, I put some possible questions, John, in the notes. David, are you going to be the land shark or the interviewer?
I'll be the interviewer, Pie.
Okay, so John's got the notes up there so we can see some possible questions, but you might want to think of others, of course. So I'm the land shark, and I have been extraordinarily, I am gifted with the power of speech.
Okay, well, welcome to our US election special this morning in the podcast. We've got an interview with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, but more importantly, first of all, we've got a land shark with us. So welcome, land shark, to the program. For those who can't see you today because they're listening, can you just describe a little bit about what you look like, what your appearance is like, please?
Well, I think most people know what a shark looks like. So if you can imagine a shark, but instead of being flat and swimming through the sea, the land shark, of course, lives on the land. So and it has legs. It actually has 4 legs. So it stands up and walks around with the body of a shark. So it's primarily white on the front, black on the rest of its body. I have an enormous fin sticking out of my back, which helps me maneuver as I walk along, stops me from falling over. And I've got a typical shark face with quite large eyes. I actually have ears so that my hearing is incredibly good, and then an enormous mouth with which I consume all sorts of things. So that's if you can imagine a shark on land standing up with 4 legs, you've pretty much got it.
Okay, so an interesting question I've got for you now that I know a lot of our listeners will be interested in is, can you swim or do you need armbands?
Well, of course, I'm actually able to live on land, and as you rightfully know, I can also swim in the sea. But I've spent so much time on land that my legs have grown very, very strong, and my flippers are weakened. My tail doesn't zigzag through the water. So yes, you're right. I do require leg bands when I swim in the sea.
Okay, very good. And so obviously you're probably not the type of creature many people see every day. What general reaction do you get from people, from humans, when they see you approaching them?
Well, sorry to say that most humans are very frightened of land sharks. And we've had a lot of bad press over the years, particularly some rather unfortunate events at seaside places where land sharks have been hiding in the rocks and under piers and have managed to eat a number of ice cream van sellers and small children. So consequently, people are afraid of us. However, generally speaking, we are quite safe as long as the locals make sure that they feed us. If we are hungry, there could be a problem.
Okay, now I've heard a rumor that land sharks are quite scared of ants. I'm wondering whether this is true. Whether you can, are there any other creatures that you are afraid of as well?
Well, I don't know where the rumor came from about us being scared of ants. No, we aren't scared of ants at all. However, we are very, very frightened of ice creams. If we eat ice cream by mistake, it lowers our body temperature and then we die. So some some people at seasides and beaches have pelted us with ice creams in order to defeat us. So we are afraid of that. Okay, I think people have got the idea. So in your pairs, you've got A and B. One of you does the interviewing. You've got a list of possible questions there. And then the partner is an animal. But before you start, I think you better invent a couple of animals. After 2 minutes, John, I think we could swap over. So everybody gets a turn to be the interviewer as well as being the creature and in role answering questions. I love the way David really made it sound as if it was on the radio or a podcast, made it sound real.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, a good approach to take. Right, so I've got 4 minutes on the clock. I'll put the questions back up, and so you need to decide who is the interviewer and who is being interviewed. First of all, you need to decide the type of creature that you are. And after 2 minutes, I will swap you over. So the 4 minutes on the clock starts now. Okay, that wasn't David barking, that was his dog. Time to swap over. Right, that's your 4 minutes up. So we will go to the TeachingLive website. Along the top menu to sessions, click on the 9:30 session. You're on today's session, and we will look at Padlet activity number 1.
Okay, so that was a little warm up looking at some invented creatures and getting some facts out of and I hope some of you, if you got a few good facts, jot them down. Remember, when you're playing the games, if you get good ideas, get into the habit of making some notes as you're going along, because they might be useful when you come to do your actual blog. Now, because not only have we got these weird creatures like the land shark and the croco cat, but also we've got all sorts of different plants, and we had a look at that and wrote about them poetically last week. But on Padlet 1, we're now going to have a go at doing information about some of those plants. So you've already got some ideas from the poetry session. But remember, when we're thinking about plants, we're thinking about herbs. So you might have a herb or an invented tree or a bush or moss of some sort, or a climbing plant like ivy, ferns, grasses, aquatic plants. That's plants that live in streams and rivers, and of course you get them in ponds and lakes. Cactuses, that's quite a good one to do, invent a cactus. Or even carnivorous plants that eat insects, or maybe even eat creatures as well, because you're inventing them. So the challenge on Padlet 1 is to invent a plant. You can draw on the poetry session if you want, but also to use causal language to create explanatory sentences. Now, that word causal is related to because. So we're going to try and get some explanations in about some interesting aspect of the plant. So let's have a look at what we've got here. These are my sentences, and I've used a range of different, what we call causal explanatory language. So we've got, and as we've done before, you can copy my sentence pattern, but the red bits put in your own ideas. So I invented fluffy moss. I've said where it grows, and then I've used so that it keeps damp, because if the fluffy moss gets dry, it dies. So the so that in blue, that's the explanatory bit, the bit that's explaining why it grows in caves. Boulder grass is hard to eat because its stems are made of granite. Here's a slightly different one. The reason that water blossoms are rare is because they're eaten by unicorn flies. The spiny fern is a very small plant, full stop. Consequently, comma, this means they can easily live on estates and in cities without being noticed. That consequently is explaining why, or the benefit of being a very small plant and how they can live in cities. Frost primroses need cold weather, otherwise they'll overheat and die. And a few more. Because wasp orchids are a green colour, comma, they can hide in forests. So that one starts with because. The second one, the boulder grass one, because was in the middle. Moonflowers must have daily water, otherwise they will dehydrate. So dehydrate means if you say I'm feeling dehydrated, that means you've got a lack of water. If you don't give water to plants, almost all of them wither up and die. So moonflowers must have daily water, otherwise they will dehydrate. As rainbow trees are multicolored, comma, they are easy to identify. Sun orchids are hot to touch, full stop. This means that they're not picked by anyone and therefore grow profusely. So what you've got there is sentence patterns that allow us to write a fact, like fluffy moss grows in caves, but also explain why they do that so that it keeps damp. So what you've got to do is to copy my pattern, keep the blue bits, but the red bits, you're going to add in your own fact and explanation. I think I've explained that, John, fairly clearly. I'm hoping so.
That's a matter of opinion, as always.
But I tried my best.
Yes, let's see how we do.
I think the key to a lot of this is not going off on one, but starting, if you feel slightly lacking in confidence, copy one of my sentences, but swap over the red bits. If you do that, you'll probably end up, just be attentive to things like where I've got commas or full stops. You might want to start with an easy one. Most of us can do a sentence with because in it, because we're in year 4, 5, and 6, or whatever it is. We're confident with that. We've been doing it for years. But also push yourself to try something a little bit new. That's always important. Try it out. So, David, we've got a lot coming on by the look of it.
Yep, they're starting to come through now. So I'm always looking for the basics, Pie, as you know, and I know we've had a bit of a break. So let's see if people remember those basic punctuations.
Yeah. So don't press the publish until you have double checked. So now,
Nana from Bolton Parish. The moonflower is a very rare flower because it gets, you need an S on there, Nana, eaten by royal fairies, which I like.
yeah, have a look at the gets, but also have a look at the spelling of fairies as well. Is that spelled correctly, John?
No, it's not pie, it is FAI.
Yeah, I thought so.
So Leo from Lancaster Road, Leo B. Starflowers are bright to see. They need a lot of water so they can live. That's really good, Leo. You forgot a full stop at the end. Now, flowers are bright to see. That's a statement. That's a sentence on its own. So that needs a full stop. And the bit with the causal writing, so that they need a lot of water so that they can live. That's a separate sentence. So starflowers are bright to see, full stop, and then they need a lot of water so that they can live. Whereas Dina from Bolton Parish, Queen of the Night flower. I love that. Queen of the Night flower. It's a good one, Pie. Grows outside in warm, frost-free climates so that it will stay fresh. Very good.
Claire from Bolton Parish. The reason why the glittering rose flower are hidden, I think it should be rose flowers are hidden, is because they get destroyed and are withering. Now have a look at that spelling of because, Claire. You could nip back and edit that.
Now then, Victor and Amber, because zombies are red, they can be easily seen in the night. Now, if you start, if you've shifted, so this is about 2 clauses here. Because zombies are red, they can easily be seen at night. You need a comma after because zombies are red, because you've shifted. Because zombies are red, they can easily be seen at night. You've shifted that to the front of the sentence. So it's acting as a fronted adverbial.
Now, a lot of you aren't actually copying my sentence patterns. Some of you are. So Hamad from Bolton Parish, the reason why purple roses are rare is because they get eaten by diamond fairies. Now, it's a bit like Nana's, but well done. You had a good go. Have a look at diamond, but also the spelling of because. Otherwise, well done. Remember to have a look at mine and try and get that language in that is blue.
Yeah, so you need to go back, have a look at these. If you haven't got one of these words or phrases in your sentence, then that's not what we're looking for.
Trying to write
It's explanations of things. Why do they do this?
Sienna,
Go on.
because leopard lilies are yellow and small, they hide in daffodils. Instead of a semicolon, Sienna, you need a comma. Otherwise, well done.
Maria, because Formosa tulips are a dark green color, comma, they can blend in with bushes. Great, well done, Maria. Perfect. Now try one of the harder phrases.
Eva and Zane, the rainbow tree is close to being extinct due to being devoured by spider flies. I'm going to give that a little click. Well done.
Yeah, because that one's not in your list, Pie.
Not, but it's perfectly correct. So excellent work. Yes. Ava from Bolton Parish, astrology plants are the most poisonous plants in the world because many, many moons ago, an evil warlock made a disease so terrible it is unspeakable. It sort of works. It's an interesting idea. And Ethan from Scott Wilkie, the reason why camo grass is orange is so they can blend in with their surroundings. Well done, Ethan. I'm going to give that a click.
Right. Liam from Alfred Salter, because the toffee dragon is so soft,
Comma.
they would eat people to make them tougher. So that's a sentence. So you need a full stop there, and you need a comma after so soft. Because the toffee dragon is so soft, comma, I don't think you need wood, actually. They eat people to make them tougher. Full stop. The more they eat, the tougher they get. So it's two sentences.
Isabella from Alfred Salter, the whale orchids hide in the depths of deep sea. As a result, they do not have to face the deadly creatures of Earth. You've used a semicolon. I think you could go for a comma there, Isabella, but well done. Isla Topless, Bolton Parish, the lapis lazuli fairies don't live long because they get hunted by goo goblins. And Umayma and Zach from Spring Hill, the reason that moonflowers are rare is because they can be eaten by dragonflies. Well, there you go. Well done.
Not seen any consequentlies so far, Pie.
No. Consequently, it's a bit of a tricky one, but worth trying.
It is a tricky one.
It sort of means as a result. So Madison from Alfred Salter, the summer daisy is normally found glowing, but sometimes it's found without its glow. I think you need a full stop there. This is because they are asleep, dreaming about their glow becoming the sun. That's an interesting one. Well done.
Mohsin Ali and Inaya from Spring Hill. Hairy moss grows in darkness so that it grows healthy. I'm not sure about the repeating of grows there. And you need a full stop at the end. Mohsin and Inaya. Wonder if you can improve that one slightly. Okay, shall we come out of the Padlet, Pie?
Yes, I think those need a little bit more practice because
some of the phrases that we were talking about. The reason that, this means that, this results in, therefore, I didn't see any of those, and I didn't see a consequently.
Yeah,
so there's some sentence. If you just teachers, maybe if you pick those causal words and phrases up and restrict your sentence generation to just those, maybe you'll get some good examples. So we'll come out of the.
I think you're right, John. It's a matter of modeling it showing everybody, and then everybody doing the same pattern. That's how I would do it. So we'd all start with a because one in the middle, and then I go for the reason that ba-dum ba-dum dum is because ba-dum ba-dum ba-dum. So we'd all practice the same thing until we conquered it.
Yeah. Okay. So we've not got any audio this week, which is a shame because there were some nice poems. It was half term last week, so we will we'll perhaps give you a pass on that one. But if we could have some audio for next week, even if it's going back to doing some of the poems that you've missed out on, because I think perhaps reading poems might be a little bit more interesting than reading non-fiction, but that's entirely up to you. But if we could have some audio for next week, that would be fantastic. Right, on to Padlet activity number 2, Pie.
Okay, so we're staying with the same sort of idea, and just looking for, there we go. Okay, so we've had a go at causal language. We need more practice with that. So now we're really going to go for practicing some information sentences, either about a plant or about an invented creature. So it's either your invented plant or an invented creature. Remember, it's factual stuff that we're doing. And if you can get some of that causal language in, the explanatory words we were just trying, that would be an extra bonus. So again, you've got to think about the type of creature or plant that you're going to be writing. And then we've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, John, of different different typical words or phrases that we use in this sort of writing. So our first column is the ones that adds on more information. Very useful. Additionally, and notice it's a comma on all of those in that first column. Additionally, comma. Additionally, comma. Now we're writing facts. So if I was doing the land shark, I might say additionally, comma, the land shark is able to run at 30 miles an hour. Also, comma, the land shark can swim in water. Furthermore, comma, the land sharks are often seen sleeping in trees. Moreover, comma, the land shark will eat not just human flesh, but also mangoes. In addition, comma, etc. The second column, those are the sorts of words, the typical adverbs that we know about. These are all adverbials in those first 2 columns. So this is the typical sort, and it interests the reader. But remember, if you're going to say amazingly, comma, you have to have an amazing fact about your invented plant or animal. So we've got amazingly, surprisingly, so you must surprise the reader. Interestingly, so it must be an interesting fact. Weirdly, curiously, comma, so it's got to be a strange fact there. Then you've got your generalizers, because we're not talking about one land shark, we're talking about land sharks in general. A bit like talking about, I don't know, Alsatians in general, or Siamese or cats in general. Generally, comma. Now, most, many, some, a few, several, the majority, or the minority, those are all in red because they don't have a comma after them. So we might say most land sharks are able to live on land without going into the water. Some land sharks are able to swim vast distances. Several land sharks have been sighted flying with rather strange wings. The majority, that means most, or the minority of land sharks, now those ones in red don't have a comma after them. Everything else does. The change of direction, so if you've just said most land sharks live on land, you might then say full stop, however, comma, a few have been sighted sleeping in volcanoes, or contrary to popular belief. Now that means, a lovely little phrase, contrary to popular belief means most people believe this, but against popular belief. So contrary to popular belief, which is against what most people believe, land sharks make good pets. On the other hand, comma, so that would be on the other hand, comma, a small minority turns savage when hungry. Perhaps, comma, the land shark is best avoided if you are looking for a cuddly pet. Unfortunately, comma, land sharks are now threatened by pollution. And then you've got your causal language. So because, as a result, and otherwise come in the middle of sentences, consequently can come at the beginning of a sentence, or this means that, badum, 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 can come at the beginning of a sentence. So we're looking for single sentences, John. Facts about your invented creature or your invented plant, and having a go trying out these different little techniques.
So the way to do it is to pick your word or phrase first and then come up with your sentence to fit it, rather than the other way around.
Yes.
So if you decide you're going to pick contrary to popular belief, pick that one, write it out, and then continue on your sentence. I did notice that there were a few missing capital letters and full stops last time round, so let's get right on it.
Yeah, and top marks for anybody who manages to use maybe causal language within a sentence that starts with one of those starters in the first 4 columns.
I'll have a go at one, Pie. I'll try contrary to popular belief.
That's always a lovely one to do.
And I'll try and get some causal language in as well. I need my comma.
Contrary to popular belief. The trump fish. What about a trump fish? What does a trump fish look like?
Yes.
Invent a new fruit called the Boris banana.
So here we go. Land sharks are often friendly because they whoops, so I've got my causal language in. They have learned that if they don't attack people, they will get food. There we go. How's that one, Pie?
Very good.
Whole T for attack.
We've got a couple come up. Giles from Alfred Salter. Unfortunately, now, Giles, when your teacher provides you with lists of words, make sure that you copy them accurately. So unfortunately is on the list. So you could get that one.
Assad's the same, Pie.
All right. Yeah. So if you've been provided with the spellings, then use them. That's the point of it. Death bears. I love that idea, Giles. Devour any living objects in range. You know, however is a sentence starter. So full stop, however, comma, few are nice and help protect nature. Assad, unfortunately, again, you can nip back and edit that, you two. Lisa Zerd are now under threat from people not feeding it, hurting it, and even trying to kill them. That sounds a bit odd in the middle, Assad. It needs a bit of work, but you've got a nice idea. Dimtro and Ibrahim from Scott Wilkie additionally needs a capital letter. So nip back and edit that.
Shamir from Alfred Salter. In general, land sharks are often feared because of, I put their appearance. Shamir, because of their appearance. And I have a full stop there as well, but they are very friendly. So that's good.
Maria and Tommy from
Language in
Scotland.
there.
Spider cats are very rare species. Although they are very shy, they can get vicious any time. There are thousands of them hiding. Additionally, they have a special power of seeing through people's soul. So nice ideas in there.
Very good.
Mustafa and Azam from Bolton Parish. Unfortunately, sea pigs cannot walk on land because of their adaptation. Well done. You got the unfortunately in and the causal language. So, woohoo. Scott Wilkie, Elijah, Samori. Surprisingly, we found sights of the mythical land shark murdering people on the beachside. Oh dear. And then Daniel from Bolton Parish. Moreover, the void chicken eats anything that it can get its claws on, including their young. Ooh.
I love the void chicken.
Yes, exactly.
That's a really good one.
Muntas and Samia from Scott Wilkie. Weirdly, the water lion has large webbed feet to catch its prey. Nicely done. Victor and Amber. Amazingly, have a look at the spelling of amazingly. You've written amazingly. Sea giraffes are often seen flying on top of volcanoes as there are lots of food for them. Nice sentence. Just edit that amazingly.
Ethan from Scott Wilkie. Contrary, you sort of adapted my one. Contrary to popular belief, death dogs are friendly and will make good pets, as they have learned that if they act kind, they will get free food. Well done, Ethan. Don't forget your full stop at the end. So definitely people starting to use the causal language in conjunction with the information, the ly adverbial starters. Consequently, gummy crocodiles are now extinct due to dehydration and climate change. Well done, Yusra.
Yeah, that one works very nicely. Leil and Mohammed from Scott Wilkie. Additionally, the sea wolf can swim in the crystal blue sea over 125 miles an hour. Also, they have a special feature, was that they can jump over 10 feet. Excellent.
Heidi from Lancaster Road. Surprisingly, you've missed your comma out, Heidi. The curios rabbits like to snuggle as a group. Full stop. Well done. I don't know whether you mean curious or curio. A curio is something that's slightly odd and interesting, sort of like a little object that's strange but interesting. So a curio rabbit would work quite nicely.
Hindi. Queen of Ice is very rude and grumpy. Consequently, she has frozen her husband due to him being annoying.
Leo from Lancaster Road. Amazingly, the spiky lily leaf is a beautiful but mysterious plant. Full stop. However, if you go near it, it will jump at you and you will be in serious pain. Excellent. Well done, Leo. You just need to, don't forget your comma, and it's it's two sentences there, so you need a full stop after plant.
So Haydar and Ali from Bolton Parish. Interestingly, the fluffy dragon lives in cold mountains, so they do not get to warm. But furthermore, explorers climb up Mount Everest and find a cave with fluffy polyester covering the cave. It is rumored that one of the explorers saw the fluffy dragon flying back to the cave. It's a little bit muddled in the middle.
Fatima, you've got it from Bolton Parish. Unfortunately, worm snakes are not picked as pets because of their slimy body. Nice and simple, works perfectly well.
Yes.
Victor and Amber. Additionally, sea giraffes are scared, not scarred, scared, one R, of flying birds as they can crash into them. Yeah, that works really well as well. This one's Shamir. Very good. Consequently, check your spelling there. You missed out the N. Consequently, sea monkeys are going extinct due to a lack of sea bananas. Well, obviously.
It's me from Lancaster Road. Generally, the ladybug dog gets played with by small children, full stop. However, they do not like it. Well done.
Yeah,
That's
that's good.
however. People often make a mess of the however sentences.
Yes, they do. This was really making me chuckle. Ava from Bolton Parish. As a result of the Cheddar tribe taking over, comma, well done, we no longer have to live in fear of the pickled onion monsters.
Brogan and Fabian, not sure which school you come from, but surprisingly, fish can squirt out a black liquid which makes the target unconscious so the fish can escape with no injuries. Also, the fish pop out their eyes to distract their enemy. A couple of spelling bits in there, you two, but I like the idea and the way you've written.
Full stop at the end as well. Yeah, very good. The only way, the improvement I would make to that is naming the type of fish rather than just.
It needs a good name, doesn't it?
Does need a good name. Right, we need to come out of here.
Again, John, it always interests me this. I think that go was better than the first go.
Well, that hopefully is what this is. It's all about, isn't it, Pie? Making progress. Yes. Yeah, so that was definitely a better go, and there was a much greater variety of language in that one as people got to grips with it. So that was much better.
It's good ideas as well, really interesting ideas, and people being playful and etc. So, gallery, John.
Yes, so we'll go to the session page, and we'll have a look in the gallery. And we have got all sorts of stuff since I last looked at it. I like this one.
We can't see. All I can see on the screen, John, is you, me, and David.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh, I screen shared. I have screen shared. Is that better?
No,
I can see it.
Oh.
What's wrong with mine then?
I don't know, Pie. Never mind. Well, I'm just going to talk about it anyway. So we've got some lots and lots of annotated weird flowers.
Yes, it's nice if people can get them right way up rather than it ending up sideways.
Yes, but it is tricky.
So LRP, that's Lancaster Road, isn't it?
Yes, it will be, yes.
That looks like Year 5 in Lancaster Road have got a really good showing, some nice watercolours being used, some pencil crayon. I like the way LRP 5B on the left-hand side, the third one down and mine has got a plant in the corner, which is something we've done before.
Strawberry flower.
Yeah, strawberry flower.
Yeah,
that's the way.
A good idea. Yeah, no, that's good. That's a couple of people have done that actually.
Yes, and further down on the last one on the right-hand side has done the same thing. A nice little design. And we've still got some of those trees coming in that we did the other week.
Yes, very good. So what have we got in the gallery, or what's the art activity for this week, Pie?
Well, if we go to the session notes, not surprisingly.
So I'll just go back to when I eventually get there. There we go.
So, and weirdly, I can't see what you've got up, but if you look down to page 9.
Yes.
Can you see the spider fly?
I'm looking at a scranker fish, actually, Pie, not a spider fly.
Oh, well.
I'm looking at a spider fly now on page 8.
Okay, so do your writing and then got a nice illustration to go with the writing. One of the things I like about this is it's a fun design, the spider fly, but we've got some substantial labeling there going on, John, with all lots of different facts, and then not an enormous piece of writing, 3 little paragraphs, because it is a fact file. And then you've got the scranker fish, again, which amused me, with his Maltese red and orange tail and his green spines. And again, some of the facts it's an illustration to go with. Now, the scrankerfish piece of writing is much more extended. My memory is that these come from, I think they come from either John Moore or Stoneworth Woodford. Good piece of writing.
The centipede alien.
Oh, the centipede alien, yes.
Again, a very carefully drawn centipede.
Very carefully, that head with all those little circles. Nice. I think it's worth reading those 3 because they were written by year 5 or year 6. So
possibly Belmont, actually, Pie, because the centipede alien mentions Belmont, so it's likely Belmont Primary School.
Yeah, that's Jamie Grossmith. Yes, 4 years ago. Yes, it is Belmont. Yes.
Yes. Right. So that's the challenge for next week, is to with your writing, produce a drawing of your
label. Yeah, so it's like an illustration that you might get in the factual book. So we've got 2 I've got 2 models. The first one is the croco cat, and the second one is boulder grass. So I've done 1 creature, and so I've done flora and fauna, 1 creature and 1 it's actually a type of grass. So if we start with the croco cat is a rare species of creature that can survive in and out of water. During the last 100 years, it was thought that this species had become extinct. However, it re-emerged during the pandemic and has rapidly established itself across most of Europe. So that's my introduction. Now I go to what it looks like. Croco cats are quite small and at first appear to look rather like young alligators. However, their heads are more like a cat. Additionally, they have wiry whiskers, pointed ears, and cat-like faces. Furthermore, their bodies are covered in very thick fur. Because of this, they can keep warm in colder weather. Underneath the fur, they have very tough, leathery scales. As a result of this, swimming, even in winter, does not disturb them. These are I think there's a comma wrong there. Underneath the fur, they have very tough, leathery scales. I don't need a comma on after underneath the fur, I think.
No, you're right, Per. You're right, Pie. I don't think you do.
Right. These amazing creatures are a dull green and brown color, which results in excellent camouflage. There's the causal bit, which results in. When swimming, they are often mistaken for small logs. Contrary to popular belief, they have sharp spines on their tails, sturdy legs, and curved claws. Outside of the water, they move at great speed, and their green eyes allow them to see in the darkness. As a result of this, the majority make excellent night hunters. So in that paragraph, I really went for adding in, I think each sentence has got some sort of causal language. And now I do where they're found. These amazing creatures are found in rivers, lakes, and ponds where there is a good supply of fish. Usually, croco cats prefer slower waters because it makes hunting easier than rapid rivers. Moreover, they also hide in the undergrowth as this keeps them camouflaged. Many have been seen climbing trees in order to keep clear of lion dogs and other predators. So if we look at the boulder grass one, we've got 3 paragraphs, got an introduction here. On the island of Nevermore, boulder grass is used as a staple diet. That means a main diet for herds of crow cattle. A herd is when you've got lots of them. Herds of crow cattle, the famous winged cows. Boulder grass is crucial to the crow cattle's survival because these cows will not eat any other diet, and it is an essential source of nourishment. The reason that boulder grass is rare is because these unusual plants are eaten by unicorn flies. Boulder grass is a very tall type of grass, which grows well in damp places. Consequently, this means that they thrive in caves close to water and in damp forests. Additionally, boulder grass is hard for most animals to eat because its stems are made of tough fibre. However, crow cattle have very strong teeth that grind the stems and seed pods. Because boulder grass is a green colour, it's hard to see in forests. Furthermore, its stems are tall and the seeds are a brown colour. Strangely, boulder grass is hot to touch. Consequently, this means that they're not picked by humans and therefore grow profusely. So that's all description. And every sentence, I've got some sort of sentence pattern, word or phrase that we've already practiced, like consequently, additionally, however, because, furthermore, strangely, consequently. So I've really put to use the sentence patterns we've been practicing. Now I've got my rounding off paragraph, which is about where it lives. Boulder grass mainly grows in caves, so it keeps damp. Generally, it enjoys cold weather, otherwise it runs the risk of dehydrating and dying. Remember, dehydration is when you haven't got enough water, and plants without water will turn brown and die. You think about grass in the summer, it very often goes brown. That's because it's dehydrated. And of course, it's dangerous to humans if you don't drink enough. Islanders have taken to protecting areas where boulder grass grows and keep the locations a secret. Otherwise, illegal farmers might harvest the crops and sell the grass seed on to other islands. So that's the challenge, John. And I think we could do well at this, though we've got to make sure those sentence patterns are practiced. I think some practice before we move into the blog post.
So it's absolutely essential when approaching this to have if we go back to the session page, to have that table of language up and available so that children can pick the sentence starters that they're going to use. Especially when you're writing a whole paragraph, you don't want to, if you have a whole group of sentences that start, the land shark is green, the land shark lives here, the land shark likes to, the land, and without using words to add on more information. Additionally, also, furthermore, your writing can very, very quickly become boring. So these two columns, words to add more information and adverbs to interest the reader, are really important, as are these ones, the change of directions. Both of those, you can try and get those worked in as much as you can, and the causal language that we've practiced earlier. So try and get all of that into your final piece. Anything else to add, Pie?
Don't think so. I think a bit of practice, as we've said, before we move into actually writing up the piece. And when you're describing your creature or plant, when you're describing it, make sure that you can draw it, if you see what I mean. Don't write in a description that you can't really then draw. That's something to slightly be wary of.
It's also, it would be great if we had, by all means, read these out. But if you want to go back and pick a poem that you've done earlier in the
That would be great.
that would also be perfectly good. But it'd be really good if we had some audio to play next week. So do have a go at doing that, and we'll look forward to your illustrated pieces of work as well in the gallery. So that's all from us this week. We're actually, next week's going to be slightly different because one of us will not be here.
Yes, I'm bunking off. I'm in Italy. I've been invited to do some work in Italy, so I shall be in Italy, but you will be in the brilliant hands of David and John. So all will be well. I'll be back the following week. So next week you're doing adverts next week. It's session 6 next week.
All right.
Session 7 is going to be Cogheart. So you could start reading it as of now, really.
Yeah. Okay. So next week adverts, and then for the week after, we'll be starting on our Cogheart adventure. So great stuff. we will see you all next week. Bye from me.
Yeah, bye. Well done, everyone.
Well done, and bye from me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll see you all next time. So, bye-bye.